Matt, how and when did you meet Bill Iverson?
Yeah. Hi, Bill. Kind of want to call you Grandpa Bill. I wanted to share a couple memories I had of you, and yeah, I met Bill Iverson in 1989, and I'm pretty positive of that year because I remember it was my 8th birthday, and I was visiting with my dad and my sister from Missoula, Montana, where I grew up. My dad, as you know, obviously, Bill, had trained with you in Newark in the mid-'70s in your amazing inner city ministry program. And so, yeah, in 1989, I remember very vividly my 8th birthday, you took us out, me and my sister and my dad, to a place where we had tropical drinks. I don't remember the name of it. It was somewhere near South Beach, Miami. And that was a really memorable, important trip for me because even back to 8 years old, I can remember that Miami trip so vividly, and you made it so special for me, my 8th birthday. So that was the first time I met you in 1989, and that sticks out to me, obviously, also because it was my birthday, and you made that birthday so special, and I knew how special and important you were to my dad, of course, because he'd always tell me about you. So then after 1989, one of my other main memories of you is when Eldridge Cleaver came to town. And I had the distinct privilege and honor of having a real-life Black Panther stay at my house, which was really cool because I grew up in Missoula, a very liberal hippie town, grew up in a liberal bubble, and to my friends, that was really cool that I knew Eldridge Cleaver. And not only did Eldridge Cleaver stay in our house, when you made that happen for Eldridge to come out to Missoula, you had already known him, I gave up my bedroom for Eldridge. So Eldridge stayed in my bed for, I think, a week. And I stayed, I don't know, I think on the couch or something. And Eldridge was such a cool guy, and I got to meet him because of you. And also, of course, living with you for 4 months. I got to live with you in Miami in 1994 with my dad and my cat, Oki, when my dad was going to take over the ministry in Miami. And getting to live with you and Anne for 4 months in Miami was really special. It wasn't so special for my cat. I don't know if you remember, because your cat, Charlemagne, do you remember Charlemagne?
Yeah.
Charlemagne and Oki did not get along so well. So Oki was confined to the bedroom that my dad and I were sharing. But for me, spending that 4 months with you in Miami and with my dad there was so life-shaping, really, to just experience that culture there for 4 months and to be in such a loving household with you and Anne and to get to know you guys better. But more than that, aside from those memories, a few of those memories I have of you, I just wanted to say that when I think of you, I just really, it's so important to me, the impact that I've seen that you've had on my father. Because I can just see so clearly traits that my dad has that I think you guys already naturally shared, but through his training with you and your discipleship with my dad, you know, he really is your spiritual son, and I see that he takes after you in so many ways. And one of those ways that I think about most often when I just think about you and your spirit and what you've meant to our family is how, you know, you, Grandpa Bill, you can just walk up to anyone and start talking to them, and within 5 minutes you're best friends with them. You know, it could be anyone on the face of the earth, and within 5 minutes you're a dear friend to that person. And I really see that with my dad also. I mean, my dad is really that way too, and I think that in a lot of ways he takes after you that way. And I think also, you know, I can see that a little bit myself too. Some of that trait, you know, being able to just talk to anyone and make friends with anyone and find some common ground with them. So in that way, I really consider you my spiritual grandfather, because I see those traits, even traced back to my dad and then to you. So, Bill, I'm an actor, obviously, and how much that means to me. And I've always appreciated that you have such a passion for the arts, and you're so knowledgeable on any subject. And we've talked about Shakespeare at length before and various playwrights. So I was thinking about something from Shakespeare's play, Twelfth Night. And there's a line in there that Malvolio says actually in Act 2, and it's, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness bestowed upon them. So I was trying to think about what scenario it is with you, what makes you so great, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think it's that you've achieved greatness. It's probably a combination of those three, but I think you've achieved it. Love you, Grandpa Bill. You're the best. Happy birthday. Happy 90th birthday. I'm so glad I could be here to help you celebrate.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you for a funny story or a fond memory?
Oh, yeah. So I think one of the funniest memories I can think of, just besides your hilarious one-liners and witty banter that, you have with anyone, and, you've always been sort of a ball breaker. I love just those things about you, the one-liners that you come up with when you're just talking to people. But one of the really funny things when I think about you is just playing basketball with you, even back when I was 8 years old when I first met you. And, at the time I'm 8 years old, I think kind of a big shot. I mean, basketball was my main sport growing up. And I just remember you being a pretty rough player. You'd go one-on-one with me. I think there was a basketball hoop in Miami, that you had right there in the driveway. And I remember going one-on-one with you. And whether I was 8 years old or 13 years old when I was in Miami for that 4 months, you never made it easy. You were posting up on me, throwing elbows, and I definitely don't think I ever beat you. And that was some pretty rough playing, and I really get a kick out of that thinking about it now, because I was at such a young age, and it was just so funny that you were such an aggressive player, because I might have thought, oh, you're this older guy, but I know you played at Davidson, right? Yeah, I know you played at Davidson, and you never lost those basketball skills, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna take you out one of these days. Maybe somehow before my dad leaves, we can get back down to Newark, and I want to get you on the court and post you up, man.
You're not the first to mention the elbow throwing.
Oh, yeah.
What is the lasting impact that Bill has made on your life?
Man, I mean, I think realizing that impact that he's made on my life, I continue to realize that more and more every day. And the more I hear my dad talk about his training with you and discipleship with you when he when he first met you, and the things that you were having them do in the inner city, it just really exemplifies Christ's real love, and how Christ was with people when Jesus walked the earth, and what you say about getting off your butt and just getting out there and loving people. You can't sit around and expect things to happen. It's just I can just think of the way that you've impacted other people's lives, especially my father, and it's such a good example to me of how I should live my own life as a follower of Jesus and his teachings, and what he was all about, when he was here, which mainly was being a servant and loving people, other people, loving sinners. We're all sinners, and being able to reach out to people that need it most. So that to me is a really beautiful thing. I love hearing the stories of the way you went about the training programs you were doing in Newark in the mid '70s with my dad. It's a really good, pure example to me of how to be a Christian and really follow Jesus and get out there with boldness and just talk to people. So, yeah.